What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Tonight, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of severe weather and a lot of interesting stuff to go over. So we have some guys here that are gonna help us out. First off, we have Tyler. Tyler, say hello to the stream.
Hello, everyone.
Yep, we have John, our head admin at Storms United. John. Whenever
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. Well, welcome back. We have Ian. Ian, say hello.
Hello.
All right. And we have Rockets. Rockets, say hello.
Hello.
All right. So, yeah, Tony's going to be back in a second. He was here for a second. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he'll be back there. Tristan will be here with us shortly. Hopefully, Brendan will be here as well because we have a lot to talk to you about tonight. We have a very big severe weather threats that we need to go over, not just for Friday and Saturday, but we also have stuff going on tomorrow. We have stuff going on this weekend. We have a lot to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead. And if it's okay with you guys, let's go ahead and start with the most immediate threat and go in chronological order. We have some severe weather going on tomorrow, actually, from the SPC. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. We have a day 2 slight risk for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana right here. Pretty concentrated right here. Hail's the main risk from it seems. Overall, if you want to briefly go over this, guys, what are you guys thinking about this generally?
I mean,
Mostly capped.
Yeah. I'd say
That's how I can sum it up. Mostly
I'd
capped.
say I know this might seem a little far fetched and might be outlandish to say, but I think violent tornadoes are on the cards for this potentially.
No, we're talking about
No, we're
the Wednesday
talking about
threat.
today.
We're talking about the Wednesday
about
threat.
tomorrow.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't
Wednesday.
worry
Yeah.
about
Wednesday,
it.
Yes.
Hey,
yes. Wednesday.
Hey, don't worry about it. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Wednesday. Yeah, I'd say a couple tornadoes are possible.
Yeah, the shear I looked at isn't particularly that optimal either. So, yeah, I'd say generic severe threats what we're looking at for now. But I figured I'd bring it out just so that way we can kind of slowly get into it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, John. If you haven't talked yet, what are your thoughts? Just not very much other than hail.
Really not very much with this. This is pretty much just capped and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a severe storm or two out of that.
Yeah. Must be a pretty high ceiling for them to put a slight risk out. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
The hail could be there, but it's gonna be just depending on if they can break the capping because it doesn't look to be too much forcing as the moisture is a bit displaced from the dry line and storms fire a little too early.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah, I'll take a quick gander at something right here. I'm going to take a quick gander at the HER just to kind of look at some of the instability measures that we're looking at right here. Yeah, it's pretty capped. I've looked at. Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the video. Yeah, we're looking at 1700 cape with 34 sin. It's ultimately not that much, but that could definitely cause a few issues if severe weather wants to develop. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you for the heads up, John. Because we have something big that's going to be coming soon. We have our storm code, John. Whenever you're ready, send it in. All right.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit, but I'm working on it.
All right, brilliant.
All right.
Thank you for that. We've been using it here at Storms United for quite a while. It's been doing pretty good. We do that every single day. For the most part, for severe weather, winter weather, any type of extreme weather that we are paying attention to, and we have a lot coming up. So, is there anything else you guys want to go over before we go over to the main event?
No.
No.
All right.
I think we're good.
All right, let's go ahead and go over to the main event. We have stuff happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday according to the SPC. Friday, we have a 30% risk of severe weather from central Illinois all the way down to near the Arkansas-Louisiana border. Encompasses most of the mid and lower Mississippi River valleys right here. We have 15% from Minnesota all the way down to Louisiana. Ultimately, I've been kind of taking a look at it. We're looking at From what I've been noticing, mainly it's gonna, in my opinion, appear to be more linear for the northern part of it, and then somewhat semi-discrete according to conversations I've had with Tristan and Tony, on the southern part of it, like in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, those areas. What are your
Yeah.
guys' take on what we should be looking at on Friday?
Who
Um,
wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
So
Alright.
again, as I had mentioned in by mistake on the first event, I think violent tornadoes are possible in this regard.
Interesting.
For Friday?
At least, yeah, on the southern end, like
Okay.
the Mississippi, Arkansas,
Okay.
Tennessee, maybe southern Missouri. I think they're possible. I'm not saying they're going to happen. I think they're possible.
All right. Okay. Who else? Who would like to go next?
I
Uh,
guess, I guess I'll go. Personally, yeah, of course, Norman though, could it be a little QLCS or something? I think I don't think violence are possible, but I do think strong tornadoes are pretty possible with the ingredients. It's really gonna come down to moisture though. If that can get a little more northern than what the models are showing, which it probably will, then yes, definitely multiple strong tornadoes could be possible.
All right.
Maybe even a tense one.
All right, Tyler. What are your thoughts?
yeah, they basically said I was gonna say, but one thing I also do want to point out for Friday is about the damaging severe thunderstorm winds. That's something that you do not want to underestimate
Oh
as
yeah.
well, because
That's true.
yeah, the SBC says here that it says here pose a widespread risk for severe, potentially significant severe thunderstorm winds.
Yeah, and
Oh,
wow.
that's a problem that I might be a little concerned about. I do not want my power going out, so
Yeah,
Fair.
so
Fair
yeah,
enough.
that's something I did want to highlight because
Yeah.
that's something that you do not want to underestimate at all.
yeah, absolutely not. All right, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that'll be all.
All right. All right, John, what's your take on what we're seeing on Friday? We've been talking about it quite a bit behind the scenes.
I'm thinking northern half of the overall threat. Thinking more of your linear type situation, as where your straight line winds are going to mainly be southern half of the threat. I'm thinking discrete, maybe, or semi discrete as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
a little bit of both, I should say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. In the meantime, though, I want to go ahead and zoom in a little bit because I think this is kind of interesting to point out. I have the 18Z NAM pulled up just because it's the latest stuff that we have. There's not really that much instability with this in relation to what we're going to be seeing. We're looking at a max of like 13, maybe isolated areas of 1400 Cape in parts of Iowa, which is kind of north of this main severe weather risk. But other than that, we peak at like 1,000 joules per kilogram of Cape. We're not really seeing that much instability compared to what we would kind of expect with a 30% risk. What's your guys' thoughts on that aspect of it? And do you think maybe the shear is this one of those scenarios where the shear makes up for it, or some sort of other forcing mechanism?
I'll go first. I think the NAM is just a little underdoing its stability at the moment. I do think it'll fix that because, yes, I think
Yeah, I just
the
looked
norm
at it.
mode is doing.
Yeah, the GFS has a lot
Yeah,
more
the GF.
instability. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but also, I do. Even if we get around 2,000, I think this year will help massively as those dew points still will be a little lackluster. But since the shears are so strong up north, I think it'll help a lot. I think it'll just be a shear over Cape scenario.
Yeah, you're definitely right about the shear. I'm looking at the 500 millibar map right here from the GFS. We're looking at 90 up to 90 knots of winds at 500 millibars. Let's go down to 850. Take a quick look at even at 850. That's about 5,000 feet up for those of you who do not know. We're looking at 65 knots of wind. And I want to go ahead and pluck a sounding just to kind of get a gander and kind of see what the directional and speed shear is going to be like with this. Okay, yeah, definitely. You were right about that. We're looking at up to 35 knots of shear near St. Louis at surface to 1 kilometer, that could definitely be decent for a tornado development. Surface to 6 kilometers at 67 knots. That's going to enhance your thunderstorm development pretty decently. Photographs a little all over the place, I would say, in this, but overall, it's definitely something we need to watch for sure. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you guys in the Discord, so that way you guys can take a look at, because I want your guys' opinions on this. This is the sounding I plucked for tomorrow. SRH is definitely pretty interesting though, so it's definitely quite a bit higher compared to what I would like to see. So, yeah.
Is that 60? I'm reading that right? That's 60 temperature, right?
Temperature 68. Dew points
That
53.
68. Okay, I couldn't read. I thought it was actually a good temperature spread. That's why I was a little shocked. But
Sure.
yeah, much as expected. Good lapse rates, just enough cape, and good enough veering. Yeah, I would say probably spin ups are most likely there. I would say
For
in
a
your
tornado
area.
threat.
Yes, because
Okay.
it's gonna be based on the GFS. You can see the reflectivity. It's just damaging winds. Well, a line more like. So yeah, spin ups. My opinion,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. All right. Would anyone else like to add on to this? Because I want your guys' take on kind of those parameters we're seeing. What should we be watching out for the most?
Ooh.
Anyone else?
Well, I would also like to mention something about those like farther north in the zone, because like
Sure.
I just want to remind people, if you guys remember like March 14th from last year of 2024, where there was
Yeah.
supposed to be tornadoes in like Oklahoma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like a significant
yeah.
threat.
Mm-hmm.
And then Indiana and Ohio instead ended up getting the worst of it.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying it's going to happen here. I
Yeah. The
just didn't
biggest
want to
reason
rule
for
out.
that was the SRH was insane in Indiana and Ohio, and I talked to
Yeah.
one of my buddies about it, Sam, who was kind of watching this event happening as it unfolded. I remember that. You know what's crazy is this day 4 risk is happening on the 1-year anniversary of that.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
know. It's crazy.
Wow.
that's pretty interesting for sure. But you're just heightening at the unpredictable nature of potentially of this, and we should not be caught off. We should not be caught off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same thing for like tomorrow, because I see Ohio in the threat. I think
Yep.
same thing, something similar could happen. I just wanted to, I didn't want to scare people
Sure.
who think they're going to be okay. I just wanted to say, take this seriously. Oh, like for example, Ohio was in a slight risk, though they did still have that like small tornado threat. They didn't completely forget about Ohio. It was just a lot more extreme than they expected. We had
Yeah.
2 EF3 tornadoes in that event,
Yep.
where including one in Indian Lake, where I've actually been to before the tornado happened.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to go too much off topic, but I kind of wanted to talk about with that, because like that was just something I didn't see coming. Because again, that was also during that event. I know I'm going a bit off topic, but I just wanted to mention this.
All right.
There was a kind of like this squall line that went through. I
Mhm.
remember that part, and that was kind of similar to like the super outbreak, just less extreme. And then there was clearing after that, and then there was a tornado watch. And I remember looking, I was like, "How are we gonna get tornadoes?" And then boom, 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 tons of tornadoes
Yeah,
happened.
we'll get more into that later, but essentially you're just heightening. Hey, this is looking. Yeah, hey, I know the biggest risk is X position, but pay attention if you're still in that risk. Is that kind of
Yeah.
the message you're pointing out here? All right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
keep a look inside the risk. Even if you aren't in the biggest threat, you could still get tornadoes. It happened last year. It could happen again this time. I'm not saying it's going to, but it could
Sure.
happen.
Yeah,
It's
for
possible.
sure, for sure. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that we want to go over for tomorrow before we move on to the big stuff?
I would like to say
All right.
this about tomorrow.
Sure.
Basically, I think I said violent tornadoes were possible on not tomorrow. I'm sorry, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, violent tornadoes I think are a little more likely. I think there's probably going to be a little more
Oh wait,
better
did I say
conditions.
tomorrow? No, I meant Friday.
Yeah, I said I think you meant Saturday.
Yeah, I meant
Saturday, I think violent tornadoes are a possibility.
Yeah.
This a bigger possibility. What do you guys think?
You think bigger stuff is more likely on Saturday? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Just because looking at
Well,
the risk outline, that's
yeah, I'm
Agreed.
definitely seeing that for sure. But once we get Tony and once we get other people in, we can kind of debate that a bit, debate that a
Yeah.
bit more because they've been talking to me about some other stuff as well.
Let's go.
So yeah, but yeah, we'll definitely talk about that for sure. But basically,
All
what I
right.
would say is unless we want to continue on something that we've missed for Friday's risk, what I would say is the main risk would for Friday, it's going to be kind of split up a little bit. I would say their biggest tornado risk is going to be to the southern half of this southern half of this area, and the wind threat is going to be the northern part of it. But I will say this though, at least for right now, based on the parameters I am watching, I think it's going to stay enhanced throughout the whole thing. And if it does get upgrade, it's going to be a day one moderate. And I was talking to Tony about this, hoping we can get him on so that way he can explain it a bit better. But yeah, by and large, I think the wind risk is something you're gonna want to watch. And from what Tony was telling me, if it is going to be a moderate, it's going to be for straight line winds and not tornadoes, mainly due to this more quasi linear system, convective systems type of setup we have with this compared to what we're going to be potentially seeing on Saturday. Is there anything else you guys want to go over before we get to the main event?
Nope.
Nope, I don't have
That's
Nope.
about it.
Okay. All right, ladies and
Well,
gentlemen,
here we go.
the moment you've all been waiting
Here
for. Let's go
A
ahead.
little bit of everything.
Yes, a little
Saturday.
bit. We got a little bit of
Little
everything.
bit of everything.
Yeah, especially with day, day
boy.
5. Day 4 is a bit more severe weather, but yeah, I actually got to hold up. Now that you bring it up, John, I got to show. First of all, what the WPC has showed with
That's
a little
fine.
bit of your text right here. Look at this.
Oh god.
Heavy snow, heavy snow, heavy snow.
Oh
It's very
my-
hard to decipher this right here.
Wait,
Yeah.
you made that?
Precip. Look at this.
You made that was you. Oh my
Look at
god.
this.
That was you.
Let me get a better
You
look.
won by a little bit of everything. Oh my god.
This is
Oh
we
my
are
gosh.
very busy here this week at Storms United, and this is why.
Extremely busy.
Okay.
Just a little bit
Ain't
of
having no
everything.
breaks.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead.
Now
Now
you're
that
after
we
this.
got that out of the way, this is what we're watching. We have a 30% risk for Tennessee, the tip of North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and the Florida Panhandle. And we have a 15% risk from Lake Erie all the way to the Gulf.
Hear this.
That is quite interesting. And hold on a second. Yeah, I just got a question. Do I think there'll be storms in New York City? Probably not. It's gonna be too.
No.
It's probably gonna be too far to the south for that. But we'll keep you updated.
Nah.
But thank you for the question. But this is quite an area we have right here, and this is very concerning for me. And first of all, before I dive into some of the other toys I want to show, what is your guys' thoughts on particularly the threat for Saturday, and kind of what do you think we should go over?
As I've mentioned, violent tornadoes are possible in my opinion. Again, that's just me. And as I mentioned before, or even if you're not in the greatest risk, again, I need to keep mentioning this because I don't want people to let their guard down. If you're
Sure.
not in the greatest threat, that doesn't mean you can still not get tornadoes. Look at March 14th, 2024, for example. When Ohio wasn't supposed to get too many tornadoes, but they ended up having the main event.
Sure.
So that's, again, I would love to try. I can't stay here for too long, but I just wanted to keep mentioning that just so that people have it in their brain, ingrained in their brain, and just know to not let your guard down,
Yeah.
even if you're not in the highest risk. Even if you are in northeastern or western northeastern Ohio, I'd still say keep a watch out for potential tornadoes. I'm not saying they're going to happen, but it's always the possibility for that.
All right. I want to go ahead and pivot a little bit. Tyler, John, I want to ask you guys this. Do you guys think? What are you guys' thoughts?
I'll let John go first.
All right. John, go ahead.
Areas down in the deep south really need to keep an eye on this because we've been looking at model trends and it really looks to have uptrended. Especially, I looked at the 18Z GFS
Oh
before
yeah.
stream and it really has
Oh
uptrended
gosh.
as well.
Yes, it has. Quite interestingly, though, things have been quite interesting. Now, granted, the 18Z GFS can be a bit much, but I'm actually going to go ahead and pull this up real quickly. John, you sent this to me on from Twitter. The 18Z GFS is coming in amped. So essentially, this is the wind speed at 850 millibars right here. That's what you guys are taking a look at.
Gosh.
And we'll go ahead and pull it up here on the stream just to kind of show you what we're looking at. Look at this. That is 60 knots at 1.5
That is
kilometers
crazy.
above.
Wow.
All right.
That ain't good, guys.
That is absolutely
No,
not good.
really
That's
ain't.
That's not gonna. This isn't gonna end well.
Yeah, that is absolutely not good.
No,
We
it
have
really
a
ain't.
lot to talk about. First of all, Tristan, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Good evening.
You doing all right?
Yes, I just had to finish some important stuff. I am
Yeah.
back.
That's good.
All right.
In the meantime, though, we have the 850 wind speed from the GFS pulled up for this threat on Saturday. We are looking at up to 65 knots of wind coming in from the southwest.
Oh,
That
God.
is interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty good because what you have there is kind of a combination of Gulf of Mexico flow
Sure.
with southwestern flow. So it's going to bring some EML,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also going to help
Exactly.
moisture lift. So that's going to equalize
Exactly.
it a little bit. And let's not forget, I know Friday doesn't look the best right now, but recently not only has some of the wording uptrended, but
Okay.
my concern for Friday, it's the precursor.
Sure.
Because what if it doesn't wash the warm sector, what you are likely going to have, and depends on the position too, is a thermal boundary. MCS complexes love to leave outflow boundaries.
All right.
And that aligns a lot of the thermal boundaries we're seeing so far aligns perfectly with the trough flow, which means you might get vectors that support supercell potential even more.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's a concern.
That is a bit of a concern. I want to get some others' input on this. Tyler, John, if you guys want, or whoever wants to, if you guys want to input, what's your thoughts on that generalization? We're kind of going back a little bit to Friday's event. What's your thoughts on that possibility?
I'll go first since
Sure.
I have a lot to say on
Sure.
that. I'm gonna little debate here. Actually, I do not. Personally, I think the moisture actually is better for Saturday than Friday, even because it just the trough is actually slowed down. Actually, the low slows down, and it keeps the moisture kind of in place and brings it up.
Mm-hmm.
This actually allows for a lot of instability, potentially even 3,000 in Louisiana.
I don't think we're debating
And-
if Friday's going to be worse than
Oh.
Saturday. I think we're just debating on the
No.
parameters of it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard Ian talk about how the moisture is going to be swept away for Saturday.
Yeah, we'll have.
So I was like, huh?
Damn, I need Tony in here so badly so we can help this out.
What is interesting, however, is, and this is what a lot of people I don't think have been talking about recently.
Sure.
Your warm sector on the Friday event is actually at its best when you expect that MCS complex.
Yeah.
But it also is north enough to where you could get that warm sector to form. So that's concerning is that people are saying, oh, Friday ain't going to be that bad. Trust me, I really think Friday is going to be a shocker to people. And one of my biggest concerns, and there are some outbreaks that have done this, you get a complex in the morning. Here's my biggest issue. If Saturday is going to be a big day, no one has talked about this. How many people are going to be without power and not able to get a warning?
Yeah, that's a bit
Yeah, that
concerning
was
right
the thing
there.
that I was about to get into.
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, so the main thing that I do want to say for the people that are going to be affected Friday and Saturday, have a plan in place. I mean, you should already have a plan in place because for Saturday mainly, this is prime tornado alley. Dixie Alley country. This is the prime area for Dixie Alley. But you need to have a plan ready to go. Make sure you communicate it with your family and make sure you practice it. Make sure you practice your tornado plan and make sure to always remember that it's not just tornadoes. There's severe winds, hail, all other kinds of stuff to be worried about. So you
And
need to
one
have
of
a
the
plan in place. You need to be prepared to lose power, have all your electronics charged, and make sure you follow proper generator protocols. Go ahead, Tristan.
Go ahead.
one of the analogs of this event so far, and this is very concerning that James Spann said it himself.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh yeah, I saw
8th,
that.
Yep.
1998.
Yeah,
He said
I
himself.
saw
That
that too.
day had a very fierce EF5. I call it EF5 because we're on the modern scale, but F5 technically,
Sure.
that ravaged a part of Birmingham. Am I saying that's going to happen? No. Are the parameters there to make that happen? Yes. And that's why we need to be aware. Now, could it? There are a few factors, but there's only a few factors. Generally, this is one of the best Stitzy events I've seen in years.
Yeah.
Years. And this is going to be one of those times where my biggest fear
Okay.
is not the day of, but the day before,
Yeah,
causing the
that
day
does
of to
kinda-
be worse.
Yeah, I agree. That kind of
That's
sets the
true.
tone. But I want to go ahead and highlight something since you brought this up, Tristan, about James Spann. I want to go ahead and read this out. A few important notes. I know I'm taking this kind of tweet and I'm kind of highlighting a paragraph out of this. This looks like a higher end severe weather threat type event for the Deep South. So now is the time to get ready. Some of the analogs that are showing this include April 8th, 1998, December 16th, 2000, and November 4th, 24th, 2001. These days all featured numerous severe thunderstorms, including very significant tornadoes. April 27th, 2011 is not an analog for this event. We have to walk a fine line between introducing fear and describing the potential for a high-end weather event. For those that have weather anxiety, just remember that even that during high-end severe weather events, odds of any spot being hit by a tornado are relatively low. I just wanted to bring this out here because I know we were talking about this behind the scenes right here, and I definitely agree that with this. What I will tell you is this: I really like. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily like, but it's kind of the best way I can describe it. In terms of severe weather, what I like the synoptic and the dynamical parameters around this. The problem is the mesoscale is a bit iffy, and it's going to stay iffy for likely another at least 36 to 48 hours. So that's my main concern with this right here, and I wanted to bring this out. I wanted to highlight this tweet from James Spann because I think it's, especially that last paragraph, is very important for us as people including myself, who broadcasts this kind of severe weather and all of that stuff, as well as tropics, winter. You get the general gist of it. So, yeah. With that being said, though, what are your guys'
I would like
thoughts? Go
to
ahead, Tristan.
argue about the mesoscale here because, real quick, it actually doesn't seem as unknown as what we talked about this the Euro and the GFS and the SPC all agree
He-
that at least an MCS will occur.
I'm just
So
talking
part
about
of that
specifics, Tristan. We
mesoscale
get the general
makes
gist
sense.
of it, but I'm talking like specifics. Like we don't know exactly what it's going to be like. We don't know the
Exactly
cloud.
where
We
it
don't know
is.
the
Yeah.
cloud cover. We don't know the exact dew
Yes.
points. All of that kind of stuff. That's the kind of mesoscale stuff that I'm talking about. No one's arguing the big picture at this current point. This is looking like it's going to be a pretty bad event, and like you said, it's going to be a big MCS
Yes.
as a type of event. But the problem is it going to be linear? Is it going to be discrete? Is it going to be bad? Is it not? That's the whole thing we're debating with. And that's unfortunately
Yes.
something we're going to have to wait until we get more mid-range runs to kind of get a better idea of, because now we have
Yeah.
a general picture of it. So, Tristan, I
I-
apologize. Go ahead.
I will say this though, if the environment, and we're not saying it's likely, but we're also not saying it's not likely because of the way the model runs have been going. I would honestly say for the people under Friday to Saturday, not necessarily Friday, but as a precaution to what might happen, I would expect if the things get together even more, a PDS watch.
I think
Just
hold on a
optics.
second. I don't think we're
Right.
there yet. We need
Yeah.
way more data before we
No.
even consider that.
Yes.
Yeah, we need way more data.
Way more data.
Way more data.
Yeah,
Well,
I understand
get
where you're
that.
coming from, but we need to
People
wait.
should be
Yeah.
people should be always prepared for the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
when
Yeah,
I
I agree with
say
that 100%.
PDS watch, I mean like expect one, but also pay attention because it could
Okay.
change.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
hope for
that's
the
just
best, prepare for
preparedness.
the worst.
It just
Alright.
wording could have been a bit better, but
My
like,
wording
prepare
was
for,
wrong. Yeah.
prepare for the worst, pray for the best. That's the general
Yes.
gist of what we
Yeah.
do here. So, okay, all right, all right, Rockets. Did you want to get in on this?
Yes. What exactly? Sorry, I kind of got lost with all the talking.
That's
What exactly are we
understandable.
focused on? What are we focusing on like here? Like, what's the main like thing you want to talk about?
Well, we kind of blended it into the full Friday Saturday threat since it's going to be one big event at this current point.
All right.
We kind of blended that together unintentionally. So
Okay. I'll talk about what I think what the models are like mainly like factoring in why we are like so like unconfident mesoscale wise. Can I talk about that way?
go ahead. Yeah.
Like, all right. So really right now the main difference is are we going to get that EML? That's the main thing. Because if we get an EML, we're like the GFS, we're in trouble.
Mhm.
The Euro actually is the only actually it's an outlier. It shows it's one of the only models that show early convection and sweeps that instability away. Moisture is fine. Instability though is not. That is the key. Because if we even I will say though, sorry I had to flip flop, but even I will say though, the 1200 is less less convex. Sorry, least convex than its previous model. So it's trending more and more discrete, like the GFS.
Okay. All right.
That's what I have to say
All right.
Yeah.
on
That's
that particular
fine.
mesoscale wise way.
Yeah, for sure. Before I get to Tyler or whoever else would like to join, John just put out we have our new storm code for you guys tonight. First of all, John, thanks for making this. We really appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, here's what we have going on. This is for the severe
John.
weather threat that we have. We have a code yellow in effect for parts of from Minnesota all the way down to the Gulf Coast, including much of the East Coast all the way up to New Jersey and everywhere in between. We have a code orange, a regular code orange in effect for the severe weather risk on day 4, which encompasses Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, pretty much the northern and not the northern, the mid and lower Mississippi River Valley, and we have a hatched code orange in effect, which is okay. We're taking this we're taking this more seriously for where the 30% risk is for day 5, which is Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, those areas right there. And this is for our severe weather threat, and I think it should be made clear that this is not an imminent threat. We are talking about it tonight, obviously, but we still have a few more days to kind of figure out what's going to be happening, and this will be updated as the days go on. John,
Yeah,
if you'd
and
like
this
to add on to what I just just said, go right ahead with the storm code.
Honestly, this is what we have right now. This will likely change. Looks. This is my opinion. It looks like Saturday will be the more significant day, and as some of other people have mentioned before, Friday is going to be a big factor of what happens on Saturday.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay, I'm just checking. Okay, I'm just checking pivotal weather for a second because one of
Also,
our members just reached out. Go ahead, Tristan.
real quick, I will let people know to also prepare for a because of the way this is acting. I wouldn't be surprised in parts of Alabama, Tennessee, and maybe parts of Georgia. Right now, by the Weather Prediction Center, if we get a moderate risk of flash flooding,
Yeah.
so also be prepared for that. That area doesn't have much drought, and they're expecting multiple rounds. So I do expect a moderate risk of flash flooding, maybe even a flash flood watch in effect for those regions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
I could agree with that 100%. The SPC has a slight risk out, I believe, for flooding as well. So
Weather Prediction Center has slight risk
Weather
on day
Prediction
5.
Center, my bad. All right, Theodore Johnson just told me the RGM weather. We have the latest one. Is that on Pivotal Weather or is that on another website I could use so that way I could take a quick gander at that? Or I'm just asking one of our channel members, so that way I can take a quick look at it. Thank you for letting me know about that. But anyway, is there anything? All right, sorry. Tyler, do you want to add anything or no?
Yeah, so I just wanted to add to like what you said about how this is still a few days away. I was gonna add
Yeah.
that does give you a few more days to prepare for this. And again, even if this does even if it underperforms, you still have that plan ready to go because tornado season starting to wind up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
It is
that's
very
an important thing to
concerning.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is very concerning when people do a broad view of model runs and the whole entire warm sector looks like someone cherry picked it.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Saw that.
And I just want to
Go ahead.
put that on no mic. This is what they got over the whole warm. Those photographs are creepy. All I'm gonna
Oh yeah, they're
say.
good.
And then look
Yeah.
at this. Now, here's what you got to consider. I do think that the holograph will be a bit bigger because we have to consider if the MCS is a boundary and it causes SRH to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be a little bigger.
Okay.
But in general, that's a pretty good environment.
For sure.
And
Tristan, just quick question though. Where is this sounding taken at?
the whole warm sector.
Literally whole warm sector.
So
Yep.
Okay, so this is
Not
kind
even
of like
joking.
an average right here. Generally,
That's
well,
an
it even
average.
says that it's an average. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm taking a look at this right now.
And
34
one more
knots
thing,
of wind
Pat.
shear. What's up?
The National Weather Service in Jackson just said for Friday, some discrete supercells may be in front of the first round. So
Okay.
Friday is uptrended.
Oh.
Really?
Wait,
Interesting.
what?
Yeah.
Where?
That was from the MBOT NWS Jackson discussion.
Is that
as
in,
of
is
2
that in their
p.m.
AFD? I'll take a quick look at it.
Oh.
They just issued a new one. Let's see if it changed. Hold on. Let's see if it changed.
Forecasts. Where's the forecasters discussion? All right. Oh, they did actually. Oh no, they didn't. They just issued it for their aviation. Yeah, their new one is for aviation. Discussion at 3:35. Yeah, we were talking about this beforehand, so nothing has really changed. Just that the aviation has because of the TAFs. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like Friday uptrended a little bit. And Pat, Friday uptrended a little bit more because that original shortwave
Mm-hmm.
that we thought was going to drag moisture away now
Weaker.
shows the cold front dying, and Wednesday is somewhat struggling now.
Yep, we were talking about that
So
with
That is
Tony.
true.
We were talking about that with Tony, actually. Let me go ahead and pull it up very quickly. Just, yeah, it's the WPC's map with the front, right? Yeah, that we have.
yes,
This is valid for 0Z Friday, March 14th, what you have right here. Okay, that's one right here. This is from 12 hours earlier from what the WPC is analyzing right here. Okay, so generally, yeah, you're not seeing that much movement with the front. It's definitely a lot slower compared to what we're
Oh.
seeing with other parameters. But we were talking about this earlier. The modeling is wanting this cold front to zip and just surge. Now, that discrepancy is a bit concerning for me because a lot of things don't really add up in that regard. And the reason I'm concerned about that is, okay, we have one
Yeah.
source saying one thing, we have another source saying another thing, and we have another source saying another thing. How is this going to triangulate? And my first guess is, okay, we're seeing all this stuff. We need to wait for the next set of runs, the next set of model runs to come in to see if they double down on that or if they start to backtrack a bit towards the WPC. If they do the latter, then that gives us more to talk about. If they don't, we got a problem because that increases unpredictability. So ultimately, this is going to be a very tough thing to forecast. Okay, thanks Theodore. It's on Tropical Tidbits. Yeah, there's a very high ceiling of Vegas aviation for sure. Jonesboro, Arkansas sounding for Friday. Let's go ahead and do that while we're on the topic, if that's okay with you guys.
Ooh.
Let's go to
Yeah.
which
Jonesboro.
part of the day? Because the beginning of Friday
That's
versus
true.
the night into the Saturday morning will be way different.
What time should I do it? Should I just do 18Z or what is it you're requesting?
We can do a
E-
comparison between when the storms might start and when the complex might develop.
Let me
I
take
think
a look
that's
at
a good
simulated
idea.
rate. I'll just do it at
Yeah.
21Z just to kind of get a general gist of it.
A
And
borderline.
yeah, it'll give us a general gist of it. Okay, here's what we got going on. This is over Jonesboro. Surface SRH around 178. You're looking at 900 cape at the surface. Shear pretty decent, around 27 knots at 1 kilometer. 6
It's
kilometers is 53 knots. But there is a lot of directional shear with it as well. This is pretty interesting. Looking at your surface temperature and dew points, your surface temp is significantly
Yeah.
higher than your dew point. So yeah, that's going to result in your LCL being a little over 850. So ultimately, I would say that unless we see significant changes, you're not going to really see that big of a tornado threat because you'd want that LCL to be quite a bit lower. What are your guys' take on that?
Yeah, agreed.
Well, which model are you looking at? Because they can.
I'm looking at GFS.
GFS. Yeah,
That's the
I
better
would
one. That's the
go-
best one.
that's the
Maybe not
best
best
one
one,
right
better one.
now.
Yeah.
I'm
His name
gonna
has full
take it with
bios,
a grain
so-
of
The
salt
NAM wants a
because the
massive amount of
mesothelioma
capping
is
on this,
50.
so the NAM wants
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
which
that's
I don't
Go
want to. Yeah, the name is. I'm sorry.
Go
The
ahead.
name has been very weird. I mean, to be fair, it's usually very haywire, but
Yeah.
it has a very strong capping. Very
the NAM
weird.
tends
Very.
to do that
It's
quite a
good
bit.
on
I noticed
moisture.
that with winter weather. You remember during winter weather rockets when the NAM was calling for this massive inversion over St. Louis with that one winter
Yeah.
storm? You
That's
remember
true.
that? Yeah, I think that's a similar
Yeah.
issue to that.
I also
I think it's
remember that.
overdoing the inversion.
Probably that.
Yeah. Okay,
Well, I
Weather
will
Kingdom
say-
is on
Yeah.
here. Weather Kingdom, how are you doing?
Hey, it's been a while.
I know it's been a while. It's so good to see you
Yeah,
again.
I know. I've been busy. And I saw you live and I'm like, let me get on, at least to say something.
For sure.
But it's been good. I've been, adulthood has been really kicking in. So
Oh, nice.
trying to be on top of that.
Nice. Okay.
Mm.
All right, Weather Kingdom. Have you been paying attention to the severe threats?
Yeah.
What are your
I
thoughts?
mean, I've been in the general. I've been watching everything.
All right. What
My
do you
thoughts
think?
so far, I think there's a good chance there's some severe storms, and the way I feel like this is shaping up,
Yeah,
have a I think we're gonna have a pretty good severe weather season on our hands, honestly.
it's definitely
Yeah.
shaping out
At least
like
in the
it
early half.
for sure. It's
Say
definitely
that
shaping
again.
out to be that
And
way.
I have a good question too. North, there was some not severe storms, but there was just some pretty nasty storms not too long ago, like last week
Where
in the Northeast. And it seems like there's a chance of some, rather strong storms again. I know it's farther out in the severe weather, but they do at least have a 50% in the mid Atlantic and Northeast. Do you guys
Wait,
think
really?
that
Oh yeah, that.
I, yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah.
for day
Do
6.
you
Yeah.
guys, yeah. Do you guys think that the
Day
Northeast
6,
could
yeah.
play a role this year in a bit more severe weather?
Here's
That's a
the interesting
little.
part, and I want to
Hmm.
relate back to a video that I
Hold
watched.
on a
And
second. Yeah, I'm looking at it in terms of
Wait.
this. What's up?
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to relate
Oh,
to
oh,
this because Conventive Chronicles has said that there's supposed to be a lot, like later in April into May into derecho season. We're expecting a high pressure in the southwest United States with a corn belt type trough. Those troughs, summer troughs that go for the corn belt. And he's saying that May could be pretty quiet, but June would be active. I'm very curious because some of the analogs we've been getting, one of them was a leaser analog was 2012, and that had the northeast most damaging derecho.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
I'm
Mid
very
Atlantic
curious to
derecho.
see if that was so.
oh yeah.
I
The Mid
remember
Atlantic
that
could play a bigger role this year. Not a
Yeah.
guarantee because the biggest question mark was March
for
because
sure.
of the way the troughs just keep going and going and going and going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that was Convective Chronicles' biggest question of the video.
Yeah.
But
We'll have
he
to
is
see that
confident that late April into May will be more of the mesoscale quiet.
for sure.
But then for some reason
Wait,
June
what?
Hold
suddenly
on.
blows up.
Okay. We can
Wait.
talk about that later. We can talk about that
Yeah.
later.
I was about to say.
Yeah, mainly because we have a lot going on and we don't want to add more stuff. What I will say to Weather Kingdom about
No.
the day 6 threat is I think it's mainly going to be squally and
Yeah, I
I think
agree
it's
on that.
yeah, I think if you I think the main threat's going to be straight line winds with it, but we'll see what happens and we'll see how this pans out. But we'll get
Yeah.
more into severe weather season and what regions are going to be the most active. We'll do that some at another time, just because we have so much going on this week that I wanted to put that front and center, so that way our
Yeah.
audience can understand what the risks are like and what they need to prepare for. So, with that being said, I really appreciate the discourse. I really like it personally, but I want to pivot back to what we're seeing now. So, with that being
Someone asked a question real quick. I apologize.
no, don't. No, you're fine. You're
South
fine, and
Central,
I appreciate
South
you for
Central
answering that.
Michigan,
I appreciate you answering that. Don't get me wrong.
South Central Michigan. Could you get a chance of severe weather? I am
Michigan.
very complicated on this matter because it is in between day 4 and 5. So I would say
Which
a
part of
marginal
Michigan?
risk. Which
That's a good
part of
question.
Michigan?
South
Because
Central
South Central
Michigan.
Michigan is different
It's
from coastal.
possible, but we'll have to see
South.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Okay. Yeah. What do you think is a realistic risk for the Bloomington, Indiana area this weekend? Bloomington.
Ooh,
It looks like.
Indiana.
Yeah, Bloomington, it looks like you're going to be outside of the main risks for right now. But I think right now it's going to be straight line winds. That's going to be the main risks before the more discrete stuff starts firing up in the afternoon of Saturday. It's going to kind of be one of those in between types of things. What do I think? Yeah, do I think Jonesboro will be under some sort of warning Friday? It's possible. We'll have to see what happens, though. Okay, is South Central Michigan? We already talked about Jackson County, Michigan. It's very up in the air for me. Actually, where is actually? Let me look this up. I'm not too familiar with Michigan. Jackson County, Michigan. Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, that helps.
It's in Sutter. It's in
Yeah, it's in
Southern
South. It's
Michigan
in.
or
Yeah,
Ohio.
it's
Okay,
right next to
you
Ann
might
Arbor.
get some.
Yeah, it's right next to Ann Arbor.
You
Okay.
might get something, yeah.
It's possible, but we'll need to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it
will
is.
need to wait for more data.
We'll need more information.
Most likely rain.
Yeah. Okay. Is
Most likely rain.
County? Is Greenville, Tennessee, gonna see like Eastern? Yeah, East Tennessee.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would. Like, let's
Ooh.
look at Greene County.
I would wait on that one because Saturday a little bit
That's
complicated.
like that's like right in between Saturday and Friday, kind of. But just
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that would be between Friday night into Sunday
for
morning.
Michigan. Yep. For Tennessee.
No, for
Yeah.
East Tennessee.
For Tennessee, we'll wait and see. How does
Yeah.
that sound? Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a little more data.
Yeah, we'll need a
Nah,
little
it's
more
okay, it's okay.
information.
We're
We
gonna
need it.
need more data because this is such a big setup that we gotta really pay attention to the mesoscale before we be like, okay, this is bad.
All right.
We really
Yeah,
need to look at
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Next question: do the ingredients for
Cough, cough,
tornadogenesis still have time to uptrend for Northeast Arkansas and Southern Missouri? A little.
Yeah.
A little. Absolutely. I would
It's the
say
same.
that.
Here's
little.
the biggest question for Friday. Is
Sure.
it going to be one of those cases where you need so much forcing and it immediately upscales? Or is it going to be that slowly killing the EML? Where you get some discretes at first, then you go semi-discrete, then you start getting the complex.
Yeah.
How fast does it transition, basically? And the
That's our
timing
main
of
question.
transition.
Yep. That's the main question. That's something we'll probably know more tomorrow if we can get so that way, because that's when the short range can finally get us a better picture as to what the setup's going to look like. Someone's asking about Cincinnati. You're in the 15% risk, but it's too early to determine. Wait for more data. That's all I can say about it.
Yes.
Yeah. What's all right? In the meantime, though, are there any parameters you guys want to go over so we can kind of try to dissect this threat?
What about? I know you're on the College of Weather Do page.
College DuPage, yeah.
The supercell composite. Do you think that's worth going over, or would you not
Supercell
trust it yet?
composite is a bit.
Oh wait, that's only with the NAM.
No, GFS has it still, but the thing is that it's
They might overdo it.
The GFS is such a large grid space, you can't really accurately tell what's going to be happening, but with it, and the GFS tends to downtrend it quite a bit. But the fact that let's start with Friday and then we'll go to Saturday if that's okay. For Friday, you're looking at supercell composite peaking in Arkansas around level 8 out of 35 possible from this.
Okay.
That's generally what we're looking at. And then peaking, and then you have this around 18Z, peaking around 16 actually out of 35, which for the GFS to go that aggressive this far out is pretty concerning to me. So we'll have to see what pans out, but that is something we're going to need probably more or less the NAM and more or less ideally the HER to register once those get in range. But matter of fact, I can't use the NAM.
HER, I was looking at that earlier, actually. And the reason why I was looking at it earlier is in range of the shortwave. The shortwave before the trough.
Okay.
The last one that was full.
Are you talking about the HER or the NAM,
off
Tristan?
a bunch of the warm sector.
Are you talking about
the new 00?
Are you talking about the HER or the
I mean, that's Sicilian slice, but you can put it away for now.
So the 18Z HER killed off the warm sector from the shortwave coming in. However, we are getting the new 00Z HER, which is coming out now and is loading up. So I want to see if the model has changed its
for sure
warm sector solution.
Yeah. All right, John, I want to pivot to you very quickly. You're hearing all this stuff, you're looking at all these parameters. What's your biggest take, and kind of what do you think about all of this data that we're getting? Kind of what are your thoughts on what we're seeing so far? Whenever you're done. Right. Go ahead, John. Whenever you're ready. Okay, he unmuted for a second, then he muted.
Well,
okay, that's interesting.
I'll let John is there at the moment.
Yeah. All right, I'll pivot to Tyler. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Oh, by the way, after this, I do gotta go, but
Sure.
but yeah, the others basically already covered this. The things I was gonna say,
Sure.
but yeah, I do believe that this will be something to watch. And again, I know I've been saying this the entire stream, but just have a plan ready to go. I do gotta go like right now,
That's
so
fine.
I'm sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
thanks
yes.
for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. See ya, guys.
See ya.
Adios.
All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, John's got some stuff going on. We'll come back to him in a bit. Weather Kingdom, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and give your input.
I mean, I haven't been so in depth with the severe weather on this, but I've seen it and I've seen it in the past with setups like this. And, it can definitely be a big tornado event, or it can honestly, there's that chance where we can have more of a straight line wind event. But I mean, I haven't deeply looked, so I don't want to call it either side yet, and I think it's just too early.
That's
But
understandable.
if anyone else has any words
do.
on that, yeah,
Go ahead,
what would
Rockets.
you like to say?
I would like to say it's gonna depend on the trough because the GFS has more of a north to south gradient, while the Euro is more east to west. You can
Yeah.
look
Mhm.
you can look on the for viewers, you can look on the geometry, I guess you can say, on where it is.
Which
This
parameter
could if the
would you
GF
want me to take a look at?
oh the 500 millibar, because there's a pretty noticeable
Sure.
difference between the Euro and the GFS on Saturday.
Can I just comment real quickly
That's
on this
trough,
giant
though.
jet streak right here? 141 knots at 18Z for Friday over Texas and Oklahoma. That's a beefy
It's
jet
on the
streak.
18Z too.
Yeah, it's a beefy.
It's on the
jet streak.
it's on the NAM too. Actually, it's on every model, surprisingly. But yeah, if you actually you want to check that? Yeah, you can check.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's on the 18Z.
It being
Well,
more vertical in the GFS and horizontal in the Euro. I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I
I was talking
will-
about Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Are you talking about the
I was talking
normal
about Saturday.
GFS
Yeah,
or the
Saturday.
ensemble?
Just
Are you talking about the
operational.
GFS
The normal
or
one. The
ensemble?
normal one. Operational. Operational. Operational.
Ensemble GFS is agreeing with the Euro.
Interesting.
Is it? Is
Yeah,
it? Is it?
Mostly,
Let
it
me check
does
that.
do a brief north to south at the end, but it mostly follows the Euro during the main few stages.
It's more north south than the Euro is, though. I will
Okay.
say that
A
though.
little bit
It's
more, yeah, but it's
but it's-
leaning towards the Euro
Yeah.
a bit.
Okay, I'm looking at the GFS ensembles right here. Looking at, I'm just playing around with it a little bit. Mean supercell composite. Okay,
Here we go.
this could be interesting. There are two
It shows-
areas of discrete areas. If you're looking at my stream,
I do see.
yeah, of supercell composite.
Ohio.
Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, and the Deep South. That's concerning to me, right there. And also, it kind of matches what CSU is putting out as well. Colorado State University.
It matches with the SPC too.
Yeah, Colorado State University.
I can't even. I can't even with that.
I want you,
though.
Tristan. I want your thoughts on this very quickly. What's your
my
take
God.
on it potentially seeing two 30% risk areas, one in the Deep South, one in Ohio?
Again, it would all depend because a lot of the models don't want to They
Okay.
don't want the best moisture plume up there.
Understood.
But again, as we all know, you don't need the best moisture plume. in the world to make the
Mhm.
Ohio Midwest perform. If the instability is thick at the mid levels, it will still perform pretty good depending on the layout.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I just figured I'd ask that real quickly because this is something that a lot of people were screaming on Twitter about throughout the day today. This whole thing, we had a 45%
Yep.
risk area for, at least according to CSU, for Ohio, Kentucky, and the Deep South right here. A lot of it's hatched as
Goodness.
well. That's going to
Hate
be
that.
interesting, and we'll have to see if that continues to uptrend. What's up, Tristan?
Did you notice south of Washington, D.C., there's like that little green area of supercell composite?
Yep.
Right.
Wait.
All the way to Loudoun County,
Oh my
Virginia.
gosh.
Yep.
I noticed
I'm
that.
laughing at that because that I guess
That's
the
crazy.
GFS, it looks like a supercell.
Yeah.
The green
It
hook.
does.
If you look at it
It
diagonal.
does. It's
Yeah.
funny.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions real quickly. Last question was
Alright.
if Friday was going to go moderate, where would it be? That's a bit tricky to answer. I know, Tristan, I know
Arkansas.
us and Tony were talking about that. I think, based on what I'm seeing, I don't tornadoes are less likely, and I would say it would be more so for winds, but the wind threat would have to really increase
Oh, yeah.
for that to happen. So I would say maybe, as much as I hate to say this, like maybe like in the mid-Mississippi River Valley, like in Missouri and Illinois. I hate
Oh.
to say that because
Oh, gosh.
that puts me in the line of fire. So,
Yep.
yeah.
The
Are you-
mesoscale for
Also
Friday
me.
is more
All right.
tricky.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so you guys are saying that tomorrow night might underperform and this will cause Friday, Saturday to overperform. No. I understand where you're coming from. We've been going over a lot tonight in the stream. We're not saying
That's true.
tomorrow night, well, we think tomorrow night might underperform because of the capping. That's the main reason. Now,
Yes.
if Friday and Saturday overperforms, it's going to be for completely separate reasons. Two separate types of two separate systems. Just wanted to make that clear. I apologize for confusing you on that. Is there a chance that that the risk moves a tad to the west? If the cold front slows
Yes.
down a bit more, yes. Could Sunday be upgraded? I think at day one would be the most likely scenario.
Oh.
Last question, bro. We already answered that question, so thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's always fun answering audience questions. I really enjoy doing that. So, yeah, keep them coming. We really appreciate it here at Storms United. So, yeah. So we got the parameters taken care of. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to go over?
No,
Saturday
not
was
really.
my birthday.
Hey, Sonny,
There
what's up?
is.
Saturday was my birthday, Pat.
Hey, happy late birthday, man.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah. I will say though, if you're looking for severe weather, your birthday present's coming about a week late. Yeah. All right. All right.
What do you want for a gift, son? Also some damaging shit like winds with tornadoes on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Kidding aside, though.
I would like. Can I say something?
Yeah, go right
Can I
ahead.
say something? I would like to mention that we do have a potential for Tuesday. We're not done after this. We have a potential for March 18th. Again,
March 18th.
moisture concerns, but it's looking pretty darn like it. The 18th, yeah, pretty darn likely we get something.
For what? I don't
Pretty
see
darn
much on the
likely.
Euro. Oh. For where?
Oh wait, did you look at it? Not exactly a placement wise, but the 18th to 19th, 20th.
Oh.
No placement wise yet, because it's yeah.
Your
Yeah.
moisture would be a concern because it would be just after a very huge trough.
Yeah. We'll have to see what
Yeah,
happens.
that's true. The GFS is a lot better with it. It's been more consistent, but it's something to point out as it's been on the ensembles for I think ages, and I say only because we've looked farther,
Yeah.
but it's only around the 200 mark.
Sure.
I would say moisture is there, but it's pretty minimal. But it is a severe risk.
We'll have to see
That's
what
all.
happens with that. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um.
Definitely this
Yeah,
time
but
of
that's
year,
all I
as we're
got.
getting more into severe weather season,
Yeah.
So
Yep.
thank you, actually.
Yeah, we really appreciate you letting
Yeah,
us know about
that's
that.
true.
Eastern Georgia here, and I was concerned about Sunday to be upgraded to enhanced possibly. I think your main concern is going to be Saturday night in Georgia, in Eastern Georgia. Maybe early Sunday morning, but I think Saturday night is where I would be more concerned about. I appreciate you for coming on and talking about it, though. All right.
I will say though, there
Sure.
is a chance it could be enhancer damaging winds
I
because
agree
if the cold front,
100%.
there's a chance.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I
I
want
agree,
to
but
see
that's
more
likely going to be
data.
day 2 or day 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also sorry, I
Someone
have
is
to
asking,
interrupt, but
good
back to my
tornado
point.
probabilities for
Oh,
Friday still
that's
uptrend.
fine.
Go ahead, Rockets.
So this
I
is
Hold
something
on.
we've been
I'll let
debating.
Tristan. I'll let Tristan talk. Don't
All right,
worry.
that's fine.
I was asking
Okay.
you a question.
Oh.
This is a really good one.
Oh.
Could tornado probabilities for Friday still uptrend?
Yes.
I know everyone has a different
Definitely.
answer for this. For me, I think a 15 sig is possible because you don't just have the chance of supercells. We have seen over, especially last year, MCS complexes being able to rapidly point out tornadoes, rapidly spawn tornadoes in an outbreak type sequence. And the Comet Heads and MCVs could do some SIG tornadoes along with any supercells that get into a good environment. So
Mm-hmm.
Friday in theory could go 15 SIG, but we need more data before we can say
That's a little bit of a
confidently.
stretch, but we'll see how this pans out.
Yeah, I agree.
What are y'all opinions? I'm just doing it based off all storm modes. I'm
10
considering all.
I think 10 sig for tornadoes is what's going to hold at. And if it's going to be a moderate
Yeah, I
TVA,
agree.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I don't think
I
a
just think
15.
the moisture, unless moisture is a big overperformance, big like moisture's already in Arkansas before the storm comes, then maybe, but that's a maybe at best.
Sure. Also, I got a quick chat here real quickly. Actually, I have a couple questions. Actually, Tristan, you actually answered this. We actually answered, never mind, Oversteer's question pretty well.
No.
I asked because Reed Timmer suggested that tomorrow's system would cut off some of the moisture that could make Friday, Saturday worse. So I thought a downtrend for tomorrow might influence the Friday, Saturday system.
It's so
Oh, yeah.
that's a weird one because the shortwave has a dying cold front, but the flow itself could briefly halt moisture.
Maybe.
It's possible, but
M-
I want to wait and see how tomorrow goes, and then we can
Agreed.
figure out the dynamics from it afterward.
Yes.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah,
guys, did you see that
Can I
tornado
say my thing now?
in
Hold on,
Florida?
Sonny, what's up?
Did you see
Hey,
that
Sonny?
tornado in Florida?
What?
Oh yeah, there's a tornado. The EF2 that hit Florida. He's talking about.
Oh,
Did you
he's
see
talking
that?
about that. Yeah, we saw that. I saw the video. That was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that just goes to show that you got to be prepared. So thank you for
Yeah, no matter
bringing
what.
that up. All right, Weather Kingdom.
Can
Do you
I,
want? Oh,
can I-
Rockets, you
can I
want to go?
mention-
Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah,
Rockets, go ahead.
I want to mention my thing.
Sure.
Back to my point about the long severe thing. The SPC does have a predictability too low 8 days out. They do, for March 18th. They do have, it's not potential too low, predictability too low.
That's pretty typical.
So they
They're waiting
are
for more data. That's
yeah,
pretty typical.
I know, but they're seeing the signal too. That's what I'm getting at here. It's not like they don't see it at all, but they're like, hey, it's there, but we obviously don't see anything yet. Just
Yeah, we'll
there.
probably not talk
That's
about
my main thing.
Yeah, I appreciate you for bringing that up. We'll
Yeah,
probably not talk
fair.
about that for another couple of days until we get more data. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
for,
but yep.
Yeah. All right. So
You're welcome.
yeah, Weather Kingdom. Do you want to add anything?
no, not really. Everything was pretty much covered.
Yeah, I actually think we got through
That's true.
everything tonight.
I am waiting for the HRRR to look at that trough coming in to see if it kind of reverses the moisture going off the coast trend.
Okay, we're at
We'll
33%.
see.
So I am waiting for some data.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna show you guys this. This is something John just sent me. This is the chance. This is the odds of Okay, yeah,
Oh my gosh, I saw that.
yeah.
I saw that. Oh my gosh.
I hope John can. I hope John's stuff is not as loud as it is, because I'd really like him to explain
Oh
what we're
my
seeing.
gosh.
That is a problem. For those of you who do not know what
That is
this
a huge problem.
this is the
Yeah.
GFS's predict odds of significant tornadoes. Right here, generally.
90.
Actually,
I
what's
don't know if I can go off by that right now. I don't
That's
think.
true, but it's
that's
just
true,
I-
but
That's true,
that
though.
is interesting.
Yeah, it is. I just
Yeah,
don't think I can
more
buy
like
it
interesting.
right now
Agreed.
That's
Yeah,
true,
agreed.
though.
because I think it's a
Agree, yeah.
little
It
overdone
just
because the atmosphere is not fully there. I feel
No,
to produce a
produce.
major tornado outbreak or anything
I
big.
I
Is
think
it
the
For right
environment's
now.
pretty
for right now?
That's
I think
not
the
an
environment's
unpopular
there, but
opinion.
yeah, it's true. I think sorry, I had they cut off. I think the environment's there, but obviously it's going to depend on the supercells itself.
We need
The environment's there.
yeah.
Cams. You're right. You're
We
right.
need more
Before I say
mesoscale.
anything else, you're right.
That's what we need.
That's true.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. I'll stop there.
Don't worry about it.
I'll
Hey,
stop there.
I'm glad you guys are talking about it though. But okay, so hers coming in. We're at 18 hours. That's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out. Okay.
So I am
Yeah.
in watching the skies right now. They're doing a discussion right now.
Mhm.
Very smart people on there, by the way. They look at data
Sure.
and stuff. This is what one of my favorites, known as Discord user Sammy, said.
All right.
If there's good confidence in a
Sammy.
decent EML and prefrontal supercells, he said it himself, and he's cautious. A high risk by day one is guaranteed if the
Wait,
EML
what?
prefrontals can behave. However, the 0.6 kilometer shear vectors are pretty parallel to the cold front. So a linear mode would be likely along the cold front so
Yeah.
far.
Yep.
But they said if the
That's about-
EML and prefrontal supercells do their job,
That's
and
what I
he's
said.
a very cautious person,
Sure.
he says a day one high is guaranteed.
Well, guaranteed if
yeah, that's
some
kinda crazy.
conditions are followed.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Just
if
want to clarify
conditions
that.
are followed. But we don't know that yet, so no one freak out. We need more
let's not-
data.
Now is not the time for panicking. This is just something we need to take a look at. So thank you very much.
Here's a question that no one has talked about,
Hmm?
and I'm very curious.
Sure.
If we do get that boundary, and then the remnants of the MCS are able to make a thermal boundary, and you get more convection, what are the chances of confluence bands in front of the front?
That'll be interesting.
That is what that is going to make. That could be the deciding factor if we get no prefrontals. Because if we of supercells, because that can help amplify that a ton with how much cape before a lot of events, a lot of early March Dixie events. We usually don't have a lot of cape with those confluence bands, but now we do, and good lapse rates. That's the difference right
Yeah.
there, and those could turn into supercells with that.
Yeah.
That is the difference, and we will see with that.
Give me
Absolutely.
a second. The HRRR might have. I'm trying to look at
We're
a
at
difference
20
between
hours, by the way,
ATT
Tristan.
and 0Z. Give me a second.
Surprisingly, it downtrended on moisture. Interestingly,
The
by
herd did?
12Z at least. Yeah, from 0Z. Yeah, it downtrended on moisture a bit.
From what? For which area?
19 hours out. 0Z from the 12Z.
Which region?
Oh yeah, a lot. Oh yeah, a lot.
The
South Texas.
South Texas?
South Texas. Oh yeah, it did quite a bit actually. Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Look at that.
HRRR so far doesn't seem to amplify that shortwave, which might be a win for moisture return. I want to see the rest of the run first.
Yeah, if it's
I know
if it's
why,
just
yeah,
short.
I just realized.
Yeah, if it's just weak enough where it keeps the moisture in there, then that would be a huge problem
Yeah,
going
I was
into
about to say
Friday.
short term that would be good, but long term that would be a massive issue if we're seeing this weaker
Yeah.
stuff. That is a
So
problem.
I
We'll see
just
what
want
Zero
to
Z
see
has.
how
Zero
this
Z stuff
model
has to say.
progresses.
Other things. Now I'm actually very curious to see what the Zero Z name has to say about this. Very curious. Also Zero Z name might be in range, like just barely into Saturday. Might be. It might just be in range, so we
Zero Z
might
Nam?
finally get some data on Saturday. It'll be barely into. I think it'll barely into like Saturday, like the overnight, Friday into Saturday morning.
Yeah, actually, hold up.
I
That
think.
would
I
be
think so.
very interesting to look at.
Yeah, it'll get
I
us to
think
12Z
so.
on a Saturday for the
Think.
Nam, but
All
that's
right,
not out
we can
yet.
get some data.
That's not
I know.
out yet.
I'm just
That probably
saying.
won't be
Are you
out for a
talking about the
while.
normal NAM, or are you talking about the NAM free kilometer?
We're talking about the regular.
Nam. That'll be out in the next hour, I think. Hour and
right.
20 minutes. Gosh, I hate daylight. Dislike this daylight saving times.
Yeah.
It would be out. It would be out by now too. It sucks. I'm so mad about that. Like, don't get to know my models. Go to bed of waiting for a Zero Z. At least I don't have to, but I prefer to, so I can wake up early in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been.
Sucks.
Yeah, good thing you guys are talking about that. Sorry, I'm just sending something over real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
You cat.
Yeah. All right, so that is a new development. That is a new development from the her, and that is something, at least according to the early returns, I do not want to. I am a little bit worried about.
Was there more dew
Yeah.
points?
No, if sorry, Sammy, but if there's sorry, yes, Sunny, sorry.
Yeah.
If there's the trough is weaker, there's lower dew points. That would keep the moisture at least not like
Intact.
swept away since it's a weaker trough. But when Friday comes around, that's gonna bring the moisture more upwards since it kept around and get swept away. A weaker trough, good in the short term, but very bad in the long term.
Yeah.
That would
Yep.
be.
That's
Yeah,
what the her's doing.
Okay.
That's what the her's doing, and it wouldn't ignite any storms either. So it
Yeah,
would
the
keep building
capping-
if
the
it
capping's
continued like that.
is gonna hold, if this is what we're looking at.
We'll see.
But
Ooh,
yeah.
it's also significant. It's also significantly more east too. I didn't even the cold front. At least the dew points are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah. For
Yeah, it's
sure.
east.
Interesting trends here.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to watch those for the next few
Interesting.
days. All right. Is there any other thoughts that
Real
in this?
quick,
What's up?
I just wanted
Yeah,
to shout out something because my friends and I have been concerned about this person's mental health.
Oh,
Storm Team just
Oh.
typed on
yeah.
Pat Stream. It is good to hear from you, man. And I hope things are going well. I hope you're healing and recovering. We all miss you over here. We do.
Yeah.
Aww.
All right. We appreciate that. But anyway, is there any other thoughts we want to things we want to go over before? Because I think we've covered everything, and I know the her's coming in and it's giving us a general
Yep.
gist of it, but I think in terms of the severe weather, we've covered everything, at least that I needed to tonight, and we can always stream again tomorrow and do that as well. So, what do you guys want? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm thinking we
But
wait for more data.
I would
Sure.
yeah, I think stream tomorrow would be nice around the same time too, because we would get a lot more data and from
Yeah.
the name especially. so
Absolutely. I
that'd
just
be
wanted
nice.
to stream tonight
Yeah.
so that way we could get some initial data out there, and then we can have a longer
Yep.
session after as more data comes in. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Real quick, Pat,
Agreed,
we haven't talked about two other things that occurred from the Weather Prediction Center day 3 to 7 hazards.
oh,
While we're waiting for the her, we might as
Pirate.
well mention some of this. The fire risk of multiple days straight, and
Oh,
we
Yeah.
also
yeah,
some
there's a fire
snow
rush out
going
too.
on the backside of this thing in parts of
Yep.
the northern United States.
Oh yeah, there's a fire rush out too.
yeah,
Could be a problem with
Yeah.
dust storms and stuff too.
since this low's predicted to be even stronger than the last one, this could. It was last time was not even. It wasn't good either because I'm pretty sure there was a big wildfire next to a road and people were on it. It wasn't that good. This could be even worse than last time. So just keep an eye
Yeah.
on.
You
Don't burn
and
stuff either.
me,
Don't burn stuff either.
Pat,
Yeah, what's
you
up?
and me are watching HRRR new run like a hawk. I can see that.
Yeah, I know I am. It's definitely
I
downtrending from the
know, Williams.
12Z. That is problematic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look,
Hold
the
on, 'cause
convection's so.
the last point of the
Nope. Look at the
HRRR, it
convection.
suddenly blew the moisture away. It's not going to be until the
Yeah.
ending of that run where you might see an effect. So give it some time.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. I got a little crazy because look at the reflectivity. It's so much more scarce.
Reflectivity. Oh, the
The capping seems to be winning compared to the other models.
yeah.
Like
Oh.
by
oh,
landslide.
absolutely, by a significant margin.
Storms that develop
Yeah.
there will be large hail producers. I really think
That's-
so.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's what I guess that SCP were. I guess they were predicting that. Well, actually,
Earlier
I'm sure now
runs-
because if the capping's
ahead.
actually this strong, it might just sorry. If the capping is this strong as HRRR predicts, it might just get rid of this, like just die out the storms.
Yeah.
It might just die out the storms. If that's the case.
But the question
Yeah,
would be the
significant.
short
Yeah.
wave and the cold front that tries to go into the Gulf. That would be your
Let's
big
see how
question
much
for
cloud
George.
cover is here. Oh yeah, cloud cover is all right, about the same, but oh yeah, there's actually a gap in the cloud cover. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see if we'll get a severe thunderstorm watch tomorrow. Maybe. Depends on the capping.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We might. Usually
think
capping
it's
trends.
Earlier runs won in a small
I'll let-
MCS, by the way. Earlier
Yeah.
runs.
I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that. I was like, I don't know about that, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to see how this pans out down the road, but ultimately, I think I think we got a lot of the stuff that I wanted to covered tonight, and I think unless something unexpected happens, this would be a good place to stop until tomorrow, and when we get more data and information, and we can also stream this severe weather situation as well, so we can kind of encapsulate everything on that. So
Yeah.
ultimately, what are your guys' biggest takeaways tonight?
I would say just tomorrow. Can I like cover up like every other like every day?
Sure,
of
cover
severe
your
weather,
bases, yeah.
possibly like
cover
summary.
your bases, yeah.
All right, so tomorrow I would say possible hail, but capping might win. We'll just just keep an eye out for just hail, maybe an isolated tornado if the capping can be break, but that's a high if. Thursday probably maybe some thunderstorms, but
Thursday's more
I know
discreet,
I wouldn't
noticed.
expect. Oh yeah, I have to interrupt because that's a hailer right there on the
those are
newest run.
hailers.
Yeah. Those
Zeus
are
is more
Okay, yeah, I
hailers.
expect. Yeah, I expect some. I would say hail's pretty likely, and for Thursday, don't. I mean, of course don't keep your guard down, but I wouldn't expect it's a marginal, and also I wouldn't expect too much as the instability is pretty darn low with the
Yeah, it's pretty
with more
capped.
capping even. Yeah, so I wouldn't like I would expect some just thunderstorms, maybe some severe, but it's mostly gonna be rain. Friday,
Yeah.
if you're I would say Louis if you're on the northern mode to like maybe southern Illinois, of course above, I would maybe southern Illinois. That's big. I mean where I am, it's a big question mark if we get no storms or we get like a supercell or not. But northern mode, I would expect some QLCS things because they're gonna grow up skill quickly with that forcing.
Yeah.
And southern mode, if you're in Arkansas, just in Missouri, or maybe even southern Illinois, where I am, just be cautious of maybe a tornado, a couple, maybe about a couple tornadoes, maybe even one or two or three might be
Sure.
strong, 8
Mhm.
or tens.
Yeah.
And for Saturday, I don't know if I can say much on Saturday. Just be prepared. That's all I can say because
Saturday
we're
is basically there's a
we're
few
little too far. Oh, oh,
there's a little bit of bus modes, but if those can be cracked out,
Yeah.
we have
yeah,
Yeah, there are 3 bus
yeah.
modes I have identified over the last few
And
hours.
then
The cold
Sunday,
front, the
Oh,
sorry,
go
Tristan.
ahead, Pat. Finish. That was
There are
my
3 bus modes that Tony, Tristan, and I have talked about. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry. Sorry, I was getting flustered. It's the cold front, the capping, and what was the last one? I'm sorry. I've had a long day today.
linear. I think it was
The,
linear.
the line
Like,
storms,
storm.
yeah.
Oh, hold on. It's
the MCS
yeah. Cloud
washed
cover.
out
Cloud
set.
cover. Cloud cover. We didn't even talk
Cloud
about
cover,
cloud
cloud
cover.
cover.
Actually.
Yeah, what's the crowd
It's a little,
cover?
it's a little too. I mean,
It's a little too far out
kind
to
of
say
far out
for
to tell.
sure, but cloud cover is
Yeah,
not fantastic according to the runs.
So you're saying
yeah.
that it could bust?
There are 3 bus
Yes,
modes.
there's a chance.
There's are 3
There's a
bus
chance.
modes that we need to
How
look
I
at.
would say something different. 3 underperform modes, and here's why I say underperform.
Actually, yeah, that's better.
That's
That's
understandable.
That's better. Yeah, agreed.
Because even if this thing is not the worst thing ever, all it would take is one tornado to affect somebody.
Sure.
Yeah.
All it would take is
true.
this to go linear, and then the low level jet goes increased to threaten people in mobile homes, trees, and power
That's true.
lines down. Multiple 911 calls because they get a bunch from falling trees. So even
That's
just
true.
a small event could trigger a decent amount of uncertainty and chaos. So I would
Yeah.
say
That's true.
underperform.
Yeah, I like that better too. Because technically, a bus is like zero. Like nothing happens. Not even wind. So I think underperformance is a lot. Seriously, that's the definition apparently. So I think
There's
Yeah,
no
underperformance is a lot
outside
better.
bus.
Like,
Can I add
oh
something?
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes,
what,
go ahead.
go
John?
ahead, John.
Yeah.
Okay, we've
Yeah.
said this in the past. All it takes is one for it to be a bad event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
So don't
absolutely
let your
does.
guard down. Keep an eye on your weather service forecasts and whatnot. But all I'll say is it just takes one
Yes.
for this to be a bad event.
Yeah.
We saw this last year with what was it? Barnsdall.
Yes.
Barnesville. Yep.
Yeah.
That was
And
pretty
James Spann said something saying that the whole event or most of the event could be a failing. But if a tornado comes down your street, that's your quote April 27th. And that's from him. That makes for someone it can be a loss of a loved one. It could be anything. So
Yeah.
even one
Yeah.
tornado can make a bad day. So
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Or
I agree with that, and I think that's a good message we can end off with tonight. But John, before we do this, before we end this, we've been dealing with a lot of stuff this week, and I want you to close this out. What are we dealing with this week, John?
A little bit of everything.
Yep.
oh my gosh. Oh
Come
my
on,
god.
John Cena.
Yeah.
It
Hey,
never
this-
gets
this-
old.
It never does.
This will not be. We're not making this a meme. We're not making this a meme.
We already have.
Oh my god.
We already have. Yep.
that's
DeAndre Hopkins
No.
to the Ravens.
No.
All right, guys. Here's I'm gonna challenge our viewers. You should make a
God.
meme post.
Yeah, Pat.
Oh
Make
gosh.
it
Oh
toast.
god. Meme
Come on,
review.
John. Make
Hold
it
on.
Meme
You
review.
toast.
should
Meme
make
review.
a meme post of that saying and put Pat's picture on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Do it, John.
Daniel,
do it.
if you're watching
We
this,
dare you.
I know he'd probably be the best candidate.
Oh my god.
Submit
Anyway.
it to
Oh
us
my
in Storms
God.
United.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Oh yeah. I'm an idiot. I forgot the. I forget this every single time. Okay, for those of you who are still here listening to our shenanigans, be sure to join our Discord server. It's in the pinned chat. Go ahead and
Oh,
join
yeah.
that. We'd really appreciate that if you did. because we want more people in our community. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. And if you want to learn more about weather, we'd be happy to allow that to happen. So, with that being said, though, thank you for joining the stream tonight. And we will be live again tomorrow night at the same time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's good to be back in daylight savings time because now I can actually build something consistent and talk about timing consistently. I'm sorry about YouTube, my video being up a little bit late. That whole thing was a bit inconsistent. But anyway, it's back. We're back. We're going to be streaming tomorrow night talking about this. And if you want to support the channel more directly, be sure to join the Pat's Path Predictor Patreon. It's the first link in the description down below. And also shout out to Daniel as an official sponsor of the Pat's Path Predictor channel. In that regard, join the Storms United Discord server, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. The goal, as always, is to get more people engaged with weather. And with that being said, have a wonderful night, guys. Stay safe.